Well, as I expected, Monique wasn't there, and wasn't there when I left. It's 7:37 p.m., still Wednesday evening, September 27th, 2023. I was really hoping that she was there, but I asked the Hertz manager, and I can't think of his name. I'll be honest, it's probably my least favorite Hertz manager, but again, I get along great with him too, in spite of the fact he's my least favorite. The towelhead guy, who is an MLS employee, by the way. I've been trying to figure out exactly what his job is, and I think I may have actually been stepping on his job earlier today. So I guess he's the one that primarily brings cars, including but not limited to electric cars, to the guys that are washing the cars. I thought they all got their own, but he actually moves them from the lines to them. I'm trying to observe and figure out what he does, because I can't really ask him because there's just too much of a language barrier. But anyway, I saw him in the window talking to the Hertz management inside the main building where the car wash is, the break room, and the MLS office is. And he was leaning in talking about somebody he saw regularly smoking in a vehicle, which is something that's not supposed to happen or been done. Now, I do know some guys that like to vape in the car, and I'm not about ratting them out. It doesn't impact me. If Jesse could just stay in his lane, his low IQ bad management wouldn't really affect me either. But him trying to micromanage me when he's really not capable of managing anybody makes it a me problem. Anyway, he was reporting the smoking. That's fine. That's not the sort of thing I'm wanting to report. But I'm more power to him for getting it done. I'm not fond of people smoking in the cars. Waited for him to finish, and once he stepped away, I just leaned in and I said, "Hey, just for the record, I don't smoke anywhere." And they kind of looked over at me, because that was, style from left field. But that's how I often approach everybody. It's just in weird ways. It's just kind of my calling card. And then when the one manager looked around like, okay, where'd that come from? I just smiled at him and said, "Is Monique still here?" And he goes, "MLS Monique?" I said, "Yeah." Motorcycle cop under the bridge on the sidewalk to the right when I went into the underpass. That was unusual. I don't think motorcycles belong up on that sidewalk like that, officer. Anyway, he said, "No, I'm pretty sure she left around 4 o'clock. And I said, "Yeah, well, that's kind of when I thought she left too." I said, "But Rob just texted me like a half hour ago and said she's here." It's like, "Nah, she leaves around 4. I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I thought. Thank you." And that was it. I just turned around and came back to my car. So there's nobody else there I really want to talk to. And after what it went down, I really feel I need to talk to Rob or Monique. Honestly, I'd rather talk to Monique than Rob. But I feel like I have no issues with Rob either. I'm hoping if I play my cards right, that I'll walk out of that meeting with a yellow vest and absolutely unquestionably equal position with Jesse of and him, and if that doesn't, if it doesn't go out that way, it doesn't go out that way. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I mean, worst case scenario, I end up leaving the job over this. I don't think it'll go to that, and I'm not too worried that my getting upset to the point I left today will cause that either. I mean, the fact that Rob responded to me the way he did is kind of indicative that it won't. It's not like I just left and didn't tell anybody. I mean, I sent a text message to the active manager and also to the number one guy. I mean, what else can I do? I mean, granted, I could stay there and put up with it, but I just knew that wasn't going to end well. I was seeing way too much red, and the voices in my head were yelling really angry, inappropriate things and suggesting things that I really shouldn't do. So I just needed to exit myself from that potentially bad situation. And that said, Andre several times has got upset and just left. He's clocked out and left, and he's bragged about it several times. And this is back when Esther was the lead. By the way, Esther was really friendly the couple interactions I had with her today. I've never seen anybody take a demotion the way she has and seem more pleasant and happy because of it. Obviously, she didn't like being tasked with lead and is a lot happier doing what she's doing now, which is where I can March Fest, and up until the point she leaves, where I take over it, she's primarily taking care of the gatekeeper line and organization on the maintenance lot, and then she's also moving numbered work order cars around for the shop, which is something I hardly ever do. So she's direct with the shop. She's got it's a good thing. It's actually really good. I'm surprised that you didn't like that, because I thought when they took her yellow vest away from her that it would go badly, and it's been surprisingly like a win-win for everybody, including Esther. So I don't think she's a bad person. Her and I just kind of clash, but now that she's no longer in any way, shape, or form my supervisor, when I do see her, we generally get along really, really good. I mean, she seemed really happy to see me the couple times I saw her today. Gave me big smiles, so that's a massive improvement. I mean, I hardly ever mention her anymore because I hardly ever see her, but I did see her today, and it was very positive interactions. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Thank you, Esther. But there are times when Esther was late where she would just upset. Like, it wasn't just me. In fact, I think one thing that really put me in well with the maintenance crew, particularly Keontae and Andre, was that I stood up to Esther in ways that they just would not do. But I didn't do it in a way just to be completely disrespectful. I just, to be honest, I was kind of disrespectful to Jesse today, but he just came at me like such an asshole. And you know, I give what I get. For the most part, I give what I get. I mean, that was something he said in our interaction over by the dollar lot, you know, where I was putting a full-size car into a mid-size spot. Boy, that guy's got some obnoxious lights going on his rims on that pickup truck. Where he said, he goes, well, I don't need to get attitude. I said, I don't need to get attitude from you. I said, well, I don't need to get attitude from you either, but here we are. God, I wish I could remember word for word that whole interaction. I wish I could have recorded it. It was pretty quality. But anyway, Andre told me several times, like, Esther pisses me off one more time, I'm just going to clock out and go home. I don't need it. And I know of several times where I came in and he wasn't there, especially after I switched to evenings. And then the next time I would see him, I asked, he's like, oh yeah, Esther pissed me off. I just went home. I don't need it. So the bottom line is I feel like they really need me at night. I've made a huge change on the way things operate there at night. Mostly with maintenance, but also to a lesser degree with electrics and just the overall operation in general, including stuff that I do to help out Dollar and Thrifty that I don't think MLS is even fully cognizant of. And that's fine. Tomorrow I'm either going to have a good conversation with Monique or with Rob, and I think I want to actually come in early for it. That way it doesn't impact my work schedule. Because tomorrow, provided I go to work, I'm going to be paired up with I forget his name. I asked somebody to tell me his name and they did, and I forgot it already. But the older guy that I was rolling with last night, the guy who has difficulty walking, but was quite excellent as somebody driving me in a shag. He asked us to work with him tomorrow. And there's no way he could do what I do. And I mean that not to disrespect him or down him or anything. But he physically could not do what I do. He does have difficulty walking, and there's just no way. I finally had somebody, by the way, show me how to use Apple Health to track my steps. Like, I thought it was something I had to configure, and it was just doing it automatically. And wow, that was something to look at. I should. In fact, here's a screenshot. And you can see, looking at my steps for the last week, that Friday and Saturday made a day off. It's like pretty obvious. I don't know what that translates into in miles, but yeah, I'm moving around. There's no question that I'm working and I'm getting stuff done.
in anybody's head except for apparently Jesse's. So, yeah. It just seems like this is more than anything. It seems like a Cartman, respect that, direct that kind of temper tantrum, and I got no room in my life for that. I don't need it. If it's going to come down to him or me, that's fine. He can stay there with his authority, and I'll move on to a better paying job. At this point, I've been turning down jobs, potential shifts on Wonolo, and that's something I wanted to talk about, by the way. What's up with Wonolo? We'll get to that in the next video. Thanks for coming with me on the drive.